Ease up on the tablet, Agent. Your knuckles are white. You're gripping that plastic like it's the only thing keeping you tethered to a reality that just shattered right in front of you. Look at that red wasteland you're so desperate to colonize. Your scientists have been spoon-feeding you sweet, sterile lies for decades. Stories about iron oxide, dust storms, and rusty sand. It's a convenient fairy tale designed to keep you from asking the real questions. It keeps you believing Mars is just a dead rock. But Mars isn't just a planet. It's the mangled, rusted-out heart of your actual home. It stopped beating millions of years ago, but it's still broadcasting on frequencies that make your subconscious scream in your sleep. You've been raised to believe the sun was always the golden center of your universe. How charmingly naive. Once, Mars wasn't a planet. It was a star, a brilliant red dwarf that Earth danced around. You didn't live in a solar system. You lived in the Martian system, your current sun. It was just a dim, distant light on the periphery while you basked in the thick, warm glow of your own crimson sun. But stars burn out, especially the ones engineered to sustain an experimental species like yours. When Mars began to cool, your ancestors, the architects you now whisper to in prayers as gods, panicked. They launched an operation your official history scrubbed like a lethal virus. They literally dragged the Earth across the cosmic abyss to a new star, using the moon as a massive gravitational tugboat. You never wondered why the moon is ringing like a hollow bell? It's an engine that ran out of fuel. The red you see on Mars? It's not rust. It's radioactive ash and the scorched propellant of a civilization millions of years older than yours. You are living on the debris of a great cosmic relocation, a memory hard encrypted and locked away in your genome, so you wouldn't feel like eternal refugees in your own home. So you wouldn't look at the sky and ache for a lost paradise. Doesn't anything in those classified rover reports bother you? Look at the xenon 129 levels in the Martian atmosphere. That isotope doesn't occur in those volumes naturally. That is the distinct, undeniable signature of a high-yield thermonuclear event. It wasn't a natural disaster. It was a planetary-scale reactor meltdown. What you call Valles Marineris, that grand scar across the planet, isn't erosion. It's a tear from a beam that tried to jumpstart a dying stellar core and ended up ripping the crust open for 3,000 miles. You scan craters for water, hoping for microbes. But the truth is closer. You are the life that escaped. You are the digital and biological backup of a civilization uploaded to a new server, under a new sun, while the old world melted. And now, your current sun is starting to bake your new home, and you're looking back at the red wasteland, driven by a phantom pain you can't explain. Why do you think your billionaire engineers are so obsessed with dying on Mars? Their brains are catching a homing signal that gets louder with every solar flare. It's the blind instinct of a salmon swimming back to a toxic spawning ground. They aren't building a future. They're trying to crawl back into the womb of a dead mother.
Look at the Cydonia plains. Your sensors have been airbrushing those photos for 50 years. You see light and shadow because your brain is trained to ignore structures that break the official timeline. Those pyramids aren't tombs for pharaohs. They're gravity terminals that once held your planet in orbit. You think you're going back to start over? You're going back to a mass grave to dig up the very tech that broke the world the first time. Think about it, Agent. The Martian day is nearly identical to Earth's. A few minutes difference. In a random universe, that's a mathematical impossibility. The axial tilt, a perfect match. These aren't coincidences. They are the marks of forced synchronization.
You were two parts of a single machine, torn apart during the Great Exit. The atmosphere didn't drift away. It was siphoned off as a final resource. You are breathing air stolen from your own past. We watch you prep your little rockets. To us, it's a tragic comedy. Insects trying to fly back into a burnt forest because the embers are still glowing. You look through telescopes for answers, but the truth is under the Martian permafrost. Down in the deep caverns, the automated systems are still humming. They've been waiting millions of years for a password you forgot while you were busy playing in the Stone Age. That red dot in the night sky isn't another planet. It's a mirror. Look into it and try not to see the fire that burned away your real name. Next time NASA discovers a trickle of water in a gully, remember the Xenon 129. Rust doesn't glow. Weapons do. You want to know what happens when your first ship lands at the base of Olympus Mons? When your drills hit the rock that's actually reinforced alloy?
I'll tell you. But first, look at the sun. Doesn't it feel a little closer today? That's because it felt you remembering. And the occupant hates it when the livestock regains its memory.